Welcome back to Notre Dame Day. I'm Trisha Hart. Joining me now is Notre Dame Provost Tom Burish. Tom is the fourth provost in the history of Notre Dame. Prior to returning to his alma mater, Tom was the provost of Vanderbilt University and the president of Washington and Lee University. So thank you for joining us today, Tom.
Welcome.
This is quite the production. So we have to ask you, what are your thoughts on all of this? The faculty, the staff, the clubs, everything.
It's an extraordinary group of people. The first thing you think of is the range of backgrounds they come from television reporters, thank you Trisha very much,
Yeah, there you go.
Children's choirs, people back in the alumni clubs and Notre Dame clubs all over, people in government, people in industry, people have started not-for-profits, students, faculty. It's just an incredible group. And the second thing you see is that Notre Dame family members are leaders every place they go, whether it be in television, whether it be in athletics and art, in music, in corporate America, in not-for-profits. They just assume some kind of a leadership role so that they can play an important role in creating greater good in the world. It's a wonderful group of people.
Now, they say this every year. They publish it in the Observer. They say this incoming class is the smartest class that Notre Dame has ever had. It's pretty much the most selective time in the university's history, not only recruiting students merely based on scores. What are kind of the new standards for admissions when you're talking about the class of 2017, 2018?
Well, you're absolutely correct. We have many, many more applicants than we can accept, and many, many more qualified applicants than we can accept. So the question really isn't who to accept, it's who don't you accept out of this group of students. Notre Dame tries to educate the whole person, the intellect, the soul, the spirit, socially, physically. So we're looking for students who want that kind of an education, a holistic education. The head of admissions told me that last year we rejected more than 60 students with perfect SATs.
Wow.
Because they weren't the kinds of students that we thought could thrive at Notre Dame. What we're looking for is a well-rounded class. Some people think that you want every student to be a well-rounded student in 8 organizations, president of 4, head of an athletic team, student body president, and so forth. And those are great students to have. But we want a well-rounded class. Some students are passionate about art or about science or about foreign languages or about athletics. Some students never had a chance because they're working 2 jobs because that's required to help their family out financially. We're looking for these students that have this wonderful passion about what they want to do, and they can meet other students that have a passion. So you've got a really well-rounded class, and that's what's important in pulling students together every year.
Yeah, I remember, the students that I went to school here with, even just graduating 3 years ago. It's an incredibly diverse student body, and why is that so important for an experience here at Notre Dame? Why the focus on diversity?
Well, there are 2 reasons. One that's very important is that if you want the best students and faculty, they don't come from one gender or one race or one socioeconomic status or one part of the world. They come from everywhere. So you've got to have an environment that welcomes diversity, makes people feel comfortable in your environment and able to achieve at the highest level they're capable of achieving. So if you want the best student body and the best faculty, you've got, by definition, to be a diverse place.
And going to colleges is incredibly competitive. What makes Notre Dame such an attractive university for the students that really make this place a rich university?
I think one of the most important things is our distinctive Catholic foundation and our heritage. It distinguishes us from most other universities, not only in the country, I think even in the world. That special feature makes Notre Dame, I think, an unusual place. You can have all of the great academic things that many secular institutions have. In addition, you have this value set that we think is distinctly, if not uniquely, Notre Dame. And a lot goes with it, the residential life and a lot of the other things that you know as a student that make this place very special.
Now, is there anything from a provost perspective as terms of what do you value most, or what do you think is really the selling point for students to come here and for the university as it's communicating its brand, so to speak, for the rest of the world?
I don't think there's one special thing. I think it's the combination of things. For example, to get the special, distinctive focus on the whole person, the set of values that Notre Dame has stemming from its Catholic foundations, you wouldn't want to say to get that you have to give up a great education. Or you wouldn't want to say that to get a great education we can't be ethical and focus on ethical kinds of things, or we can't focus on this. The residential life is a very important part of Notre Dame. We think that life outside the classroom is very, very important to developing the whole person. So I think putting the whole package together is what makes Notre Dame a very special place.
Now, from your time here and then your return to Notre Dame, I mean, it's changing every year, and I've seen it since graduating 3 years ago. Just even the physical changes. But what are some of the biggest changes and growth here?
Well, obviously, from when I was admitted, women were accepted, and so
That's
been a huge change. Many of us have to live with the realization that half of us in our class wouldn't have been there if women had been admitted, and we all think we're in that half of the class. That's a huge change. I think the academic standards have gotten more rigorous, and so the quality of the students is higher. I think the quality of the faculty is higher. I don't think academically, as a generalization, that we've ever been as strong. The physical plant is very different than it was when I was a student. It's just fabulous. New classrooms, new athletic facilities, new dorms coming on board. In every way, I think it's different. The financial aid has never been stronger. When I was a student, there wasn't much financial aid. Now things were less expensive. But now our need-based financial aid program is one of the best in the country, thanks to the generosity of many people watching these telecasts and others who have been so generous to Notre Dame.
I agree. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.